So, hey, Dave, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, man.
How's it been for you trying to run a podcast? Is it difficult?
Yeah, trying to manage. I work two jobs on top of the meal prep company I run. Me and my girlfriend, we both run,
Oh, yeah.
and have a regular life. Yeah, it's somewhat difficult, and then you got to try to uh, find people to interview. It's very difficult because some people they don't want to be on there. Some people have, you know, but I've been blessed by with the guests I have been getting. It's it's quite awesome. I like it. I mean, I enjoy it though. I really do enjoy it. That's the beauty of Twitter. I'm sorry to interrupt. That's the beauty of Twitter because like I've gotten some guests a lot through there. Um, a lot of my guests though I know personally. Like on episode I think 14. I'm friends with Randy Orton's little brother. I went to school with him for since junior high, and not knowing that that was his little brother. Like we're and then by the time we got to high school, we joined the wrestling team together. I mean, he was a year younger than me, but we were on the same wrestling team. And remember when he broke his foot? Bubba Ray broke his foot. Randy Orton's foot, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
had a commission. That was like early 2000s. Randy Orton actually was coming to our practices and hanging out and watching his brother practice. And you got some guys that were marking out, and but I was like, I tried to play it cool. I was like, oh yeah, that's what's up. But yeah, I was freaking out deep down inside.
But also, I think that one of the problems with doing a full wrestling podcast is even actual wrestlers can't make it interesting. Like Edge and Christian, I listen to the first 5 minutes, and that's all I need to hear. Then I turn it off.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like they do a thing where they'll have a 25-minute conversation with a guest that's dragged out to meet a 90-minute time limit.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think before Edge, I think Christian is the funniest. Christian should have his own podcast. He's actually pretty hilarious when he's on there, though. That's what I enjoy. Like my commute to work, back and forth to work, is about 45 minutes to an hour. So that gets me by, you know. I don't listen to the radio because they play the same stuff. And I'm not big on what's pretty much taken over here in the States. So I listen to podcasts or I listen to music I save for the gym, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same. I only listen to when I work out, I listen to AC/DC. But the thing
Yeah.
is, I'm losing weight, but I'm going deaf.
Because you're jamming too hard.
Oh God! And the thing is, as well, is that the worst thing is when you don't realize until you're three-quarters way through a song and you realize, holy shit, I've been singing at the top of my voice.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily, I have my girlfriend there to tell me to shut the fuck up. Or I'm sorry if I can't. To shut up, because I do talk loud and not knowing. Like I got my earbuds in now. I'm probably screaming at the top of my lungs. I'm sorry if I am too loud.
Oh, shout away, don't worry. But just in the wrestling world, it's a not very subtle rumor that Chris Jericho is going to Impact soon.
I think he has a pretty steady bond on. He's not going to wrestle in the States. If he does wrestle in the States, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on All In. The pay-per-view with the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes and everybody. I wouldn't be surprised if it's them with them. But I don't think he's going to wrestle on Impact. There's no. I don't think so. I could be wrong. But I don't think so. That's up in the air.
It's just there's been rumors since January because Jericho's the one who got Don Callis the job with Impact.
Yeah, he reached out to Ed Reiner. The Fight Impact. I think he was a lawyer for the Fight Network. That company, and he vouched for Scott Tuggles D'Amore and Lord Cyrus himself.
I fucking love keeping it 100. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah, they make my Thursdays better. Even though if I'm not getting paid that week, listening to that show just makes me so much better. And Disco Inferno, as bad as people go on him, and he actually makes fun of me. I appreciate that whole podcast. They really get me through. I'm glad Kevin Gill's off, and they got the real phenomenal producer JoJo Feeney. He's taking care of me at the Creative Control Network over here.
Yeah, Joe was. I was amazed that Joe actually took the time to come on my show because he's got 97 jobs.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
But I actually got buried by Conan on Twitter a few days ago. So even though, so not that I know him, but at least he knows me enough to make fun of me. So that's cool with me.
Yeah, that's cool. They interact with the fans. And I try to interact with my fans on my podcast too. I wish I could have more. Like, actually, last night in the States, I posted the best wrestling gif, and I will have you as a guest on my show. On Twitter, my Twitter handle is at DK Radigan. So whoever posted, so far there's one gentleman, he posted the best one with when La Parka comes up and whacks Disco Inferno with a chair from when they're coming down. So that's the best one. Yeah, back to them. It would be cool. He was on Impact and he did a Fozzy show years ago. I don't know if anybody remembers, but he didn't wrestle. I don't think he would wrestle on a United States platform. Not sure. I can't vouch. But I have no credibility. But that would be super cool. That would put them on the map, like early TNA. I'm a fan of the old TNA, the old WCW, the old WWE, WF. But I like the direction that they're going. I really do.
Yeah, I think Impact at the minute is if it's not their best ever, it's definitely one of their peaks.
It's up there now with I haven't caught too much of Ring of Honor, but it's like they're the top three now. There's actually three. I'm sorry, top. They're in the top three in the United States, and now there's actually there's Pepsi, there's Coke, and now there's another version. I'm saying of wrestling. I'm using that as a because it's hard to, if you have one product, it gets boring, it gets stale.
WWE, like I'm always going to be a mark and I'm always going to be a fan, but I think this might be the worst it's ever been, like storyline wise.
Yes and no. I mean, who's the billionaire? Me, us, or Vince McMahon?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Stephanie and Shane. They are. So, I mean, when we were kids, the stuff appealed to us. They're still appealing to the kids. I was listening to 83 Weeks not too long ago, and I was putting something together in my head, of listening. By the time WCW went PG, the storylines were stale. They were no good. The ratings were getting lower and lower and lower. Now WWE is PG. Well, they've been PG and it's just like it's going downhill. But I mean, they just got $1 billion or more from Fox. I mean, the story, like Finn Balor, to be honest, and I'm not saying just because you're from Ireland, Finn Balor should be WWE Universal Champion. Samoa Joe, AJ's had it for a minute, and I love AJ's style. Early WCW had his reign in TNA, but Samoa Joe deserves the title.
Yeah.
They Triple H and the other talent agents, they picked up all the great talent a little late. Not saying they can't do what they can do, but they had their big peak from 2003 to 2013, maybe I'll say. So Um, yeah, the storylines are pretty stale, but like I said, if I don't like it, I'm not going to watch it. But so thank God for YouTube clips and thank God for Twitter because they'll show the good ones, not the bad. I don't know if you were able to watch Kevin Owens Kevin Owens quit last night. The clips that I seen on Twitter.
Yeah, I seen that, but the thing is, if we're supposed to think of him as a heel, uh, then again, that's just the storyline not working because with Kevin Owens, we've seen him get screwed over as a heel for over a year now. With the whole first with the Shane McMahon feud, then he came back to Raw. He never get his title match. So, but I can see him coming back as a babyface.
He is a good babyface in the other promotions that he's done. He is a good babyface. Yeah, this is probably his turn. Like, and everybody was cheering for Kevin Owens. They were cheering for him when he was sitting in there, sitting on the chair. They were cheering for him. So this could be a turn. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and does something good. So.
I gotta ask you a question, and it's not to get all like social justice warrior and stuff like that. But do you think that wrestling fans are ever going to get over the sexism?
No. People now these days, I got 5 sisters. Okay, let's put it like this, and I wouldn't want them parading around in bras and panties to get seen, to get noticed. Women like Stephanie McMahon, she does not show her bra and panties to get over. She hasn't been in Playboy, so you don't need to do that to be famous. When you mean sexism, they're gonna. I mean, the Evolution pay-per-view. That's just the first step. They're a little behind on the curve because you got Taya Valkyrie, who's wrestled. What's his name? Brian Cage. She's wrestled him in numerous matches, and hardcore matches at that. You got Mia Yim. I don't know if you know her. She used to be her name was Jade in TNA. She's been wrestling men. I follow her on Instagram. She's been wrestling men all around. Taya Valkyrie and John Morrison, Johnny Mundo, whoever else you want to call them, they had a dirty dishes match. So they need to get over. Yeah, and she won. He super kicked a plate into her face.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was actually pretty cool. The clips I got to see. So they'll get there. I mean, I don't know what you mean by like putting women down, or like, what do you mean by your form of sexism?
No, I mean just like just say, but like it's familiar. We look at TNA, Tessa Blanchard, right? And she goes out and she cuts these great promos and has these great matches. And then if you check Twitter and people go, she's got a great arse on her, or ass on her. And it's like, but you don't see anybody going, that Roman Reigns has got nice big lips, doesn't he?
When they remember when the Shield used to come down the crowd, right?
Yeah.
I heard, I heard on little shoot interviews that, some girls would pinch Roman Reigns' ass. Sex is always going to be an issue. I mean, yeah, there's women that look beautiful, but what I say, I've told women left and right, less is more. You don't need to put all that makeup to look beautiful. I tell my girlfriend, she puts a little eyeliner, and my girlfriend's smoking hot. I love her. She's very beautiful. You don't need to show your ass and tits to be amazing.
Well, unfortunately, my girlfriend is ugly as fuck, so she needs all the help she can get.
Well, I see you're going to be in a doghouse here for a while.
That's
or single.
That's what she keeps telling people. No, it's just with the sexism, because I always talk about Nikki Bella, and I'm not saying she's like a 5-star, tear the house down Iron Man match classic, but I honestly don't think she's ever going to get the credit she actually deserves, simply because she's so good looking.
That, if you take that away from them, if you take away their ass and tits, no, unfortunately, people are not going to draw to that. But if you, like Nia Jax, she is a gorgeous big woman. Out there show. What to me, I like when women got too much makeup on. I don't like it. So, you know, but I guess it's TV. They don't need to put on all that makeup. And I follow her on. I follow all wrestling on Instagram. They don't need to put on all that stuff. For all the lady listeners, you are beautiful. God made you who you are, the way you are, and you should have and own it. Don't cover up your flaws. I had an incident with a family member. They said it's their weak point. They don't want to deal with it. No, that's your weak point needs to be your strongest point. Don't ever sell yourself short. You don't have to show your. And shame on the people who are just want to. Oh, I want to see that. You know what? Go to a porno site and go get your jollies off on that. Show some respect for someone's mother, for someone's sister, for someone's daughter. They don't. I don't know. They don't need that.
And plus, most of the fellas couldn't even handle these types of women anyway.
No, they wouldn't know what to do because they'd be so jealous. I admire Cody Rhodes because when his wife posts she posts some nice pictures of herself, and he'll be the first comment I see on there. Nice boobs. You know what I'm like? It takes a real man to know that his wife is doing something to, and unfortunately she has to. It's a twisted combination. Like, she doesn't have to post that stuff to show that she's beautiful. Maybe there's a model. She's got to do some modeling, but they don't. It's a whole chaotic thing. There's a lot of opinions, but and I'm not trying to be all PC. I'm just speaking from an older brother, soon to be husband, maybe one day a father of a daughter. I got cousins. I'm just speaking on my point of view. I don't mean to be PC, and I'm not PC. I just don't feel people should be disrespected. You have the ignorant ones. You have ignorant races, ignorant religion, ignorant people in these races, ignorant people in these religions that they should be shunned up. They shouldn't even exist in this because they give people a bad name.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So, do you have any, apart from the ones that have been rumored, such as Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair? Do you have any predictions for what the other main events of what WrestleMania 35 could be?
The Demon versus Roman Reigns, which would be cool.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Obviously, the Undertaker is probably going to come back, which I think he should have stopped when Roman Reigns beat him, and he hung up. Remember, he hung up his. That was down here in Orlando. He hung up the jacket and hat. But if Undertaker was to come back, and it would be cool to see him versus Braun. Yeah. I'd like to see Kurt Angle maybe versus Triple H one last time, because Kurt's a BMF, and a BMF to me, bad mother trucker. To me, Brock's a beast, but I'm a Kurt Angle fan. When he's a machine, when he's a wrestling machine, I'm a Kurt Angle fan. He never gives up. He gives you 110% like a Mick Foley. He's a Mick Foley, but in a technical wrestler. He had some phenomenal matches with Chris Benoit, and so forth. But I would like to see Triple H versus Kurt Angle one last time. I think the Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey when Ronda Rousey gets, she gets more under her belt. She's got a lot more to get under her belt before it's them two. So that's gonna be worth it itself to just even watch, because Charlotte Flair is a real women's athlete, I believe. And I got to meet her, man, and she's really a nice person. She was gonna take. She came to the restaurant I worked at, and everybody was like, "Don't talk to her. Just take her order her food. Treat her like a regular customer." I said, "Fuck that." I said, "Man," I went up to her. I said, "Ma'am, I appreciate everything you and your father have done in my life. When I watch wrestling, it's like it's something so much greater. I can't even explain it. It like gets me through. I've had a drug addiction, and next to the gym, wrestling has helped me through drug addiction. I didn't have to be high or intoxicated to enjoy wrestling. So it does so much. And I told her, I said, "Thank you so much." And she said, "Do you want a picture?" I said, "No, they will fire me." She's like, "All right, I'll give you an autograph." So, yeah, she's a real nice person up front. Dolph Ziggler, and if they're still going for the Intercontinental title, I'd like to see Dolph Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt. That'd be a good one too, I think.
I've got a prediction of AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan.
Good one. Very
Or
good one.
Rey Mysterio.
And there's talk about him. There's talk about him coming back. Not 100% sure.
If those matches were to be booked, I'd 100% be okay with that.
Man, you brought something good too. That'd be a cool three-way: Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles. That's something I never thought I would see. When I saw Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles, I was like, I told my girl, that was the first time she's ever sat down and watched wrestling with me. I said, I never thought this match would ever happen.
And also the fact if they did do the three-way, it would make up for the fact that, if we're being totally honest, AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio and Daniel Bryan are past their best. Like, they're still good, but they're not great.
I get what you're saying. Like, I mean, I would say they're still great, but they're not at the top level like they used to wrestle. Like when they were hungry, when they were hungry to get that spotlight, to build TNA, to build Ring of Honor. Bless you. To build TNA, AJ Styles was hungry and he rode on his back next to Abyss and everybody else. I mean, Jeff Jarrett did what he did, but when AJ Styles was in TNA, that was the first name you associated with, I think.
Oh, 100%.
And I didn't learn of, shame on me, I didn't learn of Daniel Bryan until he reached WWE. But when he was in Ring of Honor, he was off the charts, and he was hungry. He's still hungry. I like when they're still hungry.
He might be a little too hungry at times, I've got to say.
Well, that's a spot show when they're doing that crazy ass shit.
My final prediction for a WrestleMania 35 match would be Cena versus Samoa Joe.
I'm over Cena. I'd rather watch Cena in a movie than wrestling still.
Yeah, he is a surprisingly good actor. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he took one out of The Rock's book. He can play any character, homosexual, a nerd, a dad. He could play any character just like The Rock and be good. Sometimes his acts, like, I didn't like I don't like WWE movies, so let's be upfront about that. But any other time he's a great actor. So I'd rather see him in a movie than in the ring. I'm good. I've seen enough John Cena matches.
Just as we're wrapping up, we've got 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
One, does Mike Kanellis have the greatest entrance music of all time? The answer is yes.
Unfortunately, I didn't see Michael Bennett.
I
I
hear
haven't
you.
seen him. I haven't seen him wrestle so much. Like I said, I juggled 2 jobs: meal prep, podcast, and try to have a regular social life. So I haven't really sat down to watch him. I only watch the key highlight stuff. Uh, but he is a when I did see him in TNA, he is a great athlete. I don't like to sell any wrestler short unless they just disrespectful to the fans. All these people say, "Oh, wrestling's fake," blah blah blah. Uh, Screw you. These people are living their lives to please us. So, Mike Kanellis, uh, and congratulations on him being a brand new father. But yeah, I don't know much about his music, and I'll look it up before I go to the gym. But he is a great wrestler.
It's going to be in your head all day.
Oh, is it?
It's so good. The last question I'm going to ask, if have you got some sort of hate with Disco Inferno?
Do I have hate? No.
Hate?
I love it when he goes on me. I feed off of it. I feed off. Whether he wants to get me kicked off or not at the Creative Control Network, which he can't. But look, I enjoy. I'm gonna break kayfabe here. It's just a work. To me, it's a work. If he's serious that he really dislikes me, he can go slit his wrist and jump off a bridge. But no, I don't have hate. I enjoyed Disco Inferno when I watched him as a child wrestling. I actually was a fan of his, believe it or not. But he's hilarious. There's no hate. There's no hate. I don't hate anybody except for the person who's evil to somebody. But
Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer. Can I plug my social media and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You can follow me and interact with me on my podcast, World Through My Eyes, on iTunes, hipcast.com, Stitcher. My Twitter handle is at DK Radigan. Facebook, David Radigan. You can follow me on Instagram at DK Radigan. Also, check out my meal prep company, Fit Food Florida. Right now, we got a great discount going on for students and college students. Get 35% off if you order the 20-day meal plan. You can check us out on Instagram at Fit Food Florida, Twitter at Fit Food Florida, and please check out all the Creative Control Network shows. They're great. Show your support, show your love, and give a 5-star rating on all of it.